What's up guys, Chris Schwartz-edmisten here from Schwartz-edmisten Web Design. In today's video we're going to be looking at how to create this mobile style menu on desktop with this cool little right hand slide out. We're also going to be fading out the background content as well, so we're doing some pretty cool customizations to create this really nice desktop navigation experience that sort of mimics how the mobile experience is. So looks great on all screen sizes, on desktop, on tablet, and on mobile. So it's gonna be a good one. Let's jump right in. So I'm here in a fresh trial install of the Brine template in Squarespace. So the first thing that we have to do to get this header to be the mobile on desktop is to go into Site Styles. And we're going to scroll all the way down, and there's a section for the mobile styles. So what we want to do is we want to change this mobile breakpoint. Instead of 640 pixels, we're going to change it to 100%. So that way it'll always have the mobile bar no matter what size the screen is. Okay, perfect. And we can even make it a fixed header, since that's an easy setting to set up. So now if I go down to tablet and I go back to desktop, so cool. So now we have this mobile bar here. So one thing that I want to do in the site styles, I just want to make these hamburger icons. I want them to be a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna hide the search icon and gosh. Oh, there we go. Icons hairline. I want them to be light. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we have the mobile hamburger menu always, no matter what the screen size is, on desktop, on tablet, and on mobile. So if you are good with how it looks right now, then that was all you needed to do. But we're going to look at some more customizations that we can do to make this a little bit more of a better experience across all screen sizes. So one thing that I want to do, since our menu is over here on the right, I want to make sure that it slides in from the right. And there's a setting in the site styles. I'm going to go to show all and then scroll down. There's a setting in the site styles where you can choose mobile menu general. Here we go. Slide left. Nope, I want it to slide right. Perfect. And then for the backdrop color, oh cool, we can just change that to white, and that'll be important a little bit later on. So you want to change the backdrop color, and all of that looks good. Okay, so we're going to save that, and now we're going to head in over to our custom CSS. So one thing that I want to do is I think it doesn't it doesn't look good when the menu slides all the way across the screen. If anything, on desktop it should be a little slide out that maybe goes like halfway at most. So what we're gonna do, like on mobile, it makes sense for it to slide all the way, but on desktop it doesn't make any sense to cover up all of the content and have the menu like slide out all the way over like that. So I'm gonna head over to my custom CSS, design custom CSS, and I'm gonna slide out this menu. And then I'm going to right click and click inspect. And now we can jump into the HTML and kind of look at, what styles are already applied and what styles we're going to need to change in order to change how far that slide out goes. Okay, so here we have the mobile overlay menu. Okay, so I wonder if I change this width to 30%. No, I think I need to change the width of the whole entire thing. So I'm kind of just doing this on the fly. Usually I'll plan out my tutorials more. And I did this for a client, but you know, I'm not following, usually I'll like write out the code ahead of time, so I have something to follow along with, but this is more kind of real, like off the top. I'm just sort of like figuring it out as I go along. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly what styles are controlling this layout. Like, why is this layout going all the way across the screen? So I see that this says 100% width. Okay, so I think we need to change the mobile overlay width, and we want it to be 30%, but we don't want it to be all the way on the left of the screen. Like, we want it to be, yeah, we want it to be all the way on the right of the screen when it slides out. So what we have to do is we have to change the width of the mobile overlay to 80%, or sorry, we have to change the width to 20% for the mobile overlay. Or we'll do 30%. Let's use the numbers that I have. So we're going to change the mobile overlay width to 30%, and we're going to change the left value, how far over it is from the left-hand side of the screen, to 70%. Okay, so let's just start there with those changes. And an important thing to note is that when the mobile overlay is active, this class called .isMobileOverlayActive gets added to the body. So you can see, I'll just keep this open here. So right now, isMobileOverlayActive, that class is added to the body. And then when I hide the menu and look at the body again, that class is gone. So I'll try and organize my windows so you guys can see that. So I'm toggling the menu, and isMobileOverlayActive is added, and now I'm closing the menu, and that class is removed. So you can see it being added and being taken away. So that's helpful because we can now style, we can give the mobile overlay menu unique properties when it's open and when it's closed. Okay, so I got a little bit sidetracked there. Just wanted to show you guys how that class gets added because it's important for adding our CSS to the website. All right, so I'm opening up my inspect tools. My DevTools goes so slow when I'm screen recording, but that's all right, we'll power through. Okay, so the mobile overlay. So I'm going to copy that class, and we're going to change its width to 30%. And one thing that I already forgot is that we're changing it when it is active, when it's open. So we want to also include this .isMobileOverlayActive class. So when the mobile overlay is active, we want the mobile overlay to be 30% wide, and we want it to have a left property of 70%. Okay, now if I reload the frame, we can see what we have done so far. Cool. So now it only slides out 30%. When I go to tablet, slides out 30%, and that's actually, it's a little bit small. So on tablet, let's go ahead and add some media queries in here, and this will determine how far it slides out on different screen sizes. So at media screen and max width. So for the first one, we'll do tablet. So the Squarespace tablet dimensions, they use 768 pixels is the tablet dimension. Okay, so we want it to be 30% and 70% when it's on desktop. So actually I'm going to cut that. So when it's on desktop, when it has a minimum width of anything above tablet, so I'm going to use min width. We want it to be 30% wide and have a left property of 70%. But when it gets down to tablet view, which is anything under 768 pixels, we want it to, let's say, go 50% and have a left of 50%. Okay, so now on tablet, it goes halfway. On desktop, it goes 30%. And on mobile, it still goes halfway because those are the tablet styles that we put. So let's just go ahead and do a mobile media query here as well. So I'll copy that, and this will be 640 pixels and smaller. We want it to go, let's say, 90%. Yeah, so it's sliding out like pretty much all the way across. And that looks good. Now, for some reason, I have this little overflow here. So I'll show you guys how to get rid of the horizontal scroll. And sorry, if you hear some jingling in the background, my golden retriever puppy is behind me. So you might hear a little bit of background noise during this video. Okay, so this is how you get rid of this sideways horizontal scroll bar. So write body, and then open up some curly brackets, and we're going to write overflow, and we're going to overflow X specifically, and we're going to set that to hidden. Apparently it has to be a lowercase x. Okay, so now we have no more horizontal scroll bar. But now we get the menu sliding out, different widths on different screen sizes. Perfect. That is exactly what we want. Cool. And so one more thing that I want to do, which I think is going to look really cool, is when this menu is open, I want the rest of the site to kind of like fade out. I want it to be a little bit darker. So it really brings attention to this mobile menu. So here's how we're going to do that. When the navigation is open, when the body has this class, we're going to add an overlay to the body that is basically just like a semi-transparent dark overlay. So what I'm going to do, since we already know this class, I'm just going to copy it. So when the body has the class is mobile overlay, I'm going to add an after pseudo element, and I don't need any content, so I'm going to leave the content blank. I want the width to be 100%. I want the height to be 100%. I want the position to be absolute. And just got to make sure I spell it right. And I want the top to be 0, and I want the left to be 0. And now I want the background to be, we're going to use RGBA, the alpha channel, so that we can specify transparency. So I want it to be black, but I only want it to be 50% transparent. Cool. And now we're going to add a Z index of like 5, for example. And that way it's more than all of the content on the page. So actually, let's just be safe. Let's make it like 500. Let's actually try. Okay, 2000 is too high because then it actually overlays the menu itself. So yeah, we'll stick with like 500. So that way it's definitely over like all the other content on the page, but it won't overlay like the menu itself. And again, this is only going to apply when the body has this is mobile overlay active class. So it's only going to have this fade effect when this mobile menu is open. So there you go. You can kind of see the effect that creates. It slides open and then slides shut. Very cool. And because we enabled the mobile styles, we get this mobile cart like menu down here, this mobile cart bar. So we can just get rid of that with the site styles. I'm going to open up my site styles and then I'm going to click on it. And I'm just going to hide the cart. Cool. And now we get this little bottom bar. I have a video on getting rid of it because it's so annoying. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. If the cart is hidden, then it shouldn't even appear at all. So I'm just going to come down here. And it's just because this bottom bar has padding. So I'm going to copy these classes. And I'm going to paste them into my custom CSS. Make a little room down there. Open up some curly brackets. I'm going to set the padding to 0 and it disappears. Okay, so that is how you get a mobile menu on desktop. And we did a little bit of customization to it. So the background kind of fades out, which looks good. And we get this cool sliding effect. So one other thing that we can do to make it look a little bit better, I don't like how these items are like so close together. And it's because they have padding, but they only have a little bit of padding. So I'm just going to take the classes that's applied to each one of these items, and I'm going to add just a larger padding to the bottom. So we're going to override the default styles and just space these guys out a little bit because they are super squished. Okay, so the class is mobile overlay nav item, and you can see they have a padding bottom of, well, like a little over 12 pixels. So I'm just going to come right here, and we'll say padding bottom of 50 pixels. Cool. So that spaces them out a little bit, gives them a little bit of breathing room. Now, one cool thing that I've seen on some like mobile layout on desktop navigations like this is they'll center these items vertically in this side menu, and I think that looks pretty cool. So if I right click and inspect, what we can do is take the container that houses all of these items and we'll just center it vertically with Flexbox. So Flexbox is a super powerful positioning tool. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this mobile overlay menu main class, going to copy that, and we're going to turn it into a flex container. And I'm going to align the items to the center, and they drop down like so. Perfect. And we can even, since we have so much room, we can even space these items out a little bit more. I'll do something like 80 pixels, and that just gives them a little more breathing room. And the more items you have here, then the more space they'll take up, and that'll look good. So now we have this really custom mobile menu that we put together that looks really good on all screen sizes. So there's desktop, there's tablet, and here is mobile. Now there's a bit of a ghosting effect going on when you open the menu. And so I want to show you guys, if you guys don't like that, how to get rid of that. So that's in the site styles panel. If you go down to the mobile settings, just change the backdrop color to transparent. And that's what it is as the default. And so when you do that, there's no longer this bar here. So the X kind of hangs out by itself, but you won't get that ghosting effect happening anymore. So if that's sort of bothering you, which it was bothering me a little bit, it looks a little bit cleaner when it just slides out. Then I wanted to show you guys how to get rid of that ghosting effect. Awesome. Alright guys, that is it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you are going to throw on a mobile site on the desktop, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of that? Do you like that look? Do you not like that look because it's harder? You know, most people are used to the navigation up here, so I just want to kind of know your thoughts. Are you a fan of it? Are you not a fan of it? Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys get requests from clients to do this? Because I know I certainly do, and it sort of just depends on the industry and what the website is all about, whether I encourage them to go in that direction or not. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment below. Alright guys, that is it for this one. I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, keep creating awesome Squarespace websites.